Hello everyone, my name is Markan. I have been into Salesforce ecosystem since last 4 years, and I am currently designated as an IT manager and working as a consultant. I am an active volunteer and a mentor and a community speaker. So today I will be talking about Einstein Prediction Builder. Einstein Prediction Builder based on a particular data sets. So we look into the data sets as well. What exactly Einstein Prediction Builder is and what are the predictions outcome. We will look into that. But before jumping into that, we must know the licenses which are available for Einstein predictions. So in Einstein predictions, we have free version as well, where you can build up to 10 and enable the prediction at least one at a time. And if you wanted to purchase the Einstein prediction license, where you can build up to 20 and enable 10 of them. And if you wanted to purchase the CRM Analytic Plus license, then you can build up to 45 and enable up to 35 of them at one time. We have multiple Einstein's tools available for different developers or admins, but we will be looking into Einstein Prediction Builder as of now. So Einstein Prediction Builder, before jumping into that, we also look into some terms related to that particular tool. And then once we got to understand the tools, then we will look into the demo, how we can build and how we can turn our idea into a prediction. So as we know that we have AI and ML. So AI basically is related to the machines should act like a human. That is the perfect aim for the AI. And if we needed a machine to act like a human, we need to train that particular machine. We need to give this something to the machine so that they can behave like a human. So what we are going to give them is basically a process, and that process of using that particular algorithm to learn from the data, that process is basically an ML. And then what we are going to get as a outcome, we will get an outcome as a prediction. So prediction in terms of numeric or in terms of binary. So numeric means like the value, and binary means like the yes or no or opinion based. So based on that particular algorithm or the rules and regulations or the calculations, we will get this particular prediction as a outcome. So that algorithm is basically help that particular model or a machine to come up with the prediction. So that algorithm is basically a rule and calculation. All right. And based on that rule and calculation, what we are feeding to that particular machine is data. So data is particularly, are structured or unstructured. If we give the highest quality data set to that particular model, then we will get a highest value for the prediction, for our prediction, right? And based on that high quality, how we can divide, how we can decide that we are giving the highest data quality set. So we have structured and unstructured data. If you looked into the columns or fields, and then you can get a insight out of that particular record, then it means that data is structured. If we look into the image or video or text which is not in our order, then it means that data is unstructured, because Einstein will not be able to analyze that particular unstructured data. So we will be focusing on structured data in order to get a better outcome. So I am talking about data set, right? So data set is basically divided into a two set. First one is prediction set, and second one is the example set. So example set is comes up with the positive or negative examples. So that framework is completely helpful to predict your data. And apart from the example set, we have whatever remaining is called a prediction set. Let's think about this. We have a use case to convert a particular lead into our opportunity. If we needed to convert a lead into an opportunity, then we need to understand what are the challenges and what are the examples, right? So if we look into the challenges, then we have to look into the negative examples of the data. And if we look into the positive examples, which is helpful or which is highest quality of the data to predict. That is how the prediction model work, right? So we will look into each and everything in a detail while we will discuss all the things while performing in a demo. So let's start to turn your idea into a production, right? Einstein Prediction Builder, you have this particular link where you can get all the details related to it. So after the demo, we will look into the question and answer. So till now, thank you so much for your time and being a great audience. So let's jump into the demo part. You need to go to the setup, and then you have this particular Einstein Prediction Builder, or you can go into the setup and then search for Einstein Prediction Builder from here. And once it's been done, you need to get it started. So I'm doing the same thing from here, and let's get started with prediction. So I have already been using the free version as of now, and where I can build up to 10 predictions at one time, but I can only enable one at particular time. So these are the prediction which I have been working on currently, and I have already enabled one of them, and that is already been used in our day-to-day process. So I have built few prediction based on a particular defined use case. So let's suppose you need to build a particular prediction based on a use case which is a late invoice payment. Let's suppose there are a invoice which are late and they are not being paid within a particular timeline. So then you need to predict another invoice, that whether this particular invoice will be paid by that particular time or not. So that is the use case. And let's suppose if you wanted to uh, uh, build a prediction based on a no show. Let's suppose you are doing a event, and based on the data which you have collected so far in your event, then you need to predict another audience which are going to attend for this particular event. And there might be a people those who are not going to attend your event. So that means they are no show, and that data which is being feeded into your Einstein Prediction Builder is an example set, which based on that particular example set, that tool is predicting that these particular people are not going to be attending your further events. So that is how use case comes up, and then based on the use case, you start building a prediction. So let's talk about one prediction first, which is a late invoice payment. So I have already built this particular prediction based on the data which is available in my org. So let's look into what exactly this particular prediction is all about. Then we will build another prediction build, and we look into how we can define our use case. Then first one, once we have to build a particular prediction, we need to give this particular prediction a name. Why you wanted to predict, what exactly you wanted to predict, and based on the data which you have in your org, you are going to predict. So let's suppose the first one which I am talking about is late invoice payment. So late invoice payment, it shows that there are invoices which are getting delayed. They are not being cleared within a particular time period. So I am predicting another invoice, whether this particular invoice is going to be clear within that particular time period or not. All right. So I have this particular object which is invoice object, and that is a custom object. I have used this particular object to predict a late payment, and I have also 2000 records which is involved in this particular invoice object. So the thing is, see, you might have a low records in your Salesforce org, then Einstein will come up with the error that at least 100 records should be there in a particular object in order to get a better result. So that is a limitation in the prediction builder, because you cannot predict based on a one single lead or one single record or one single invoice, right? So that is how our limitations will overcome. If you have multiple records, then that particular limitation will overcome. So that means at least 100 records should be available in order to predict something or in order to get a better outcome. So Einstein consists of data only from the last 2 years. All right. So that is also another limitation, that after 2 years that data will not no longer be able to predict, or before 2 years the data will not be included. So Einstein consider only data which is till the 2 year data, and based on that particular historical data, the Einstein will learn from that particular data, and then this record will be predicted. And how this particular prediction will comes up in a score field, which is be might be existing field, or might be you can create a new field. So you need to first choose the object where this particular record is existing, and what records you wanted to predict. Based on that, you need to choose the object. Then once you have chosen the object based on your use case, then you need to segment your data based on the avocado framework. So segmentation basically involve all those data related to the example set, might be that is a positive example set, or might be that is a negative example set. But based on the data set which is readily available in your Salesforce org, that prediction started building. So let's suppose you have records, 2000 records for a invoice, and then you need to build a report based on those records which are available in the invoice object. Then think about the filter or the categories. Based on that category or based on filtration, you get a complete insight of that particular report, right? So similar way, you need to filter your data in order to in order to give the best understanding about your scorecard for the Einstein. Then what you are doing in this particular filtration, you are segmenting your records, or might be you can say segmenting all those records which are relevant to your prediction, or you are excluding all those details which are not relevant to your prediction. So that is how you need to filter your data. And I have taken the invoice records, invoice object records. So let the thing is, like, I am using the free version and I have no data in the invoice object, only limited data basically. So I have chosen the all invoices. I'm not choosing the segmentation of invoices just to get a better understanding of the outcome. I can predict the time range, I can predict the location, I can predict the demographic group based on my, you know, details, based on my segmentations. But as of now, I have chosen the invoices where I have been trying to predict what are the invoices which are going to be which are going to be delayed again in the further a further time period. So that's how I have chosen the invoices. Once you click on the save and next, you will be looking you will be guided to the next step, which is a example record. In this particular example record, in this particular example record, this says that there are at least 117 records which are being available, which met your particular criteria. So what I am doing right now, I have a segmentation, like I have primarily divided this particular data into segmentation. Then based on that segmentation, I am providing that data a example set, so that they can come up with a closer match for the outcome, right? Or you can say the Einstein will be able to train by themselves to give the more accurate prediction. So based on the example set, the Einstein will match your outcome, or you can say will try to predict more accurately, right? So that is how you need to give the Einstein yes outcome. Yes outcome means the positive example set, where Einstein will look into this particular positive example set and then will give you a more accurate prediction. So that's how you need to choose your fields, or that's how you need to give your particular yes example. Field is basically helping you to filter that particular segmentation. You can choose currency, date, pick list, anything, number, anything. Just think about this particular field in order to filter the data and look into your records. If they are below 100, then it means that your data will not be able to predict. The Einstein will not be able to predict your data, right? If this has been above 100, then Einstein will be able to start predicting your data. And once you select the positive example set, then you have to look into the no outcome as well, or you can say a negative example set, because you need to understand the challenges and how you can give this particular Einstein an understanding what exactly they need to predict. For example, to predict the likelihood of this particular outcome, then this particular thing should be able to, not in the terms of not going to be happened in the future. Let's suppose we have taken the outcome as a late payment, then that is the example set, that these are the records which is being delayed, late, or not paid on time till now. That is the example set. And then we have a predicted data. That means these are the outcomes, or these are the invoices which are currently paid on time. So that means that is a prediction set, right? So this is how you need to filter your data. First you need to choose the example set in a terms of yes, or you can say a positive, or you can say a you know uh, usually what it exactly represent is a positive outcome, right? So you need to give the positive outcome, right? You might have a negative outcome, that then you need to choose the no outcome, right? So once it's done, you need to include all the fields which is going to be impact your outcome. So the best is to give 21 fields which I have in my object. I have chosen each and every field. I'm not sure which particular field will be impacting my result. So that's how you need to include your fields. You can choose up to 1,000 fields. That's a huge amount of fields which help you to get a better understanding about your prediction, because you never know which particular field is impacting your prediction. And even you can, yeah, that's true that sometimes might be there are fields which are going to get this particular prediction in a biased manner. So you can exclude those data fields, right? You can exclude those data fields from your prediction, so that you can predict unbiased outcome. You're right. So that's how you can choose your fields according to your use case. Once you click on the next and look into the fields, then you will be redirected to the records which are going to be predicted. So in this particular step, you need to think about what exactly the score in your prediction set. By default, the Einstein will give you the prediction scores, but that's not a full understanding about that particular prediction. So you need to look into the example side, or what exactly you need to predict, right? Whether you are going to segment this particular records based on the example side. In most cases you will select all the records, right? Because you have no understanding, or might be you have little understanding what exactly my example sets are, because there are n number of records, right? So records exclude from your example set are the ones that don't have the outcome of your prediction questions. So there are the records that you want to predict, and that prediction is basically all records, right? So that's how you need to build your prediction. So because you are predicting a particular record, and then you can say that the outcome will be a good outcome, right? So I have chosen all the records as they are not into example records. The thing is, like, example records are the positive one, and the predicted records are the excluded one, right? So I have chosen all the excluded records which are on the example records. So till now I have only 71 records to predict, and once I have done with the predicted record chosen, I might have to create a new field, or I can use the existing field where I can get the result of the prediction, right? So you need to give the name of your field, where you can get an value related to 0 or 100, or might be yes or no, because this particular field will give you an exact record of your report of your outcome, right? So in this particular field you will get an outcome. Once it's done, you need to review and start to build this particular prediction. This particular area will show you that what are the issues, or what are the areas where you need to look again. If you have not chosen the example set where there are the conditions which are not getting met, then there will be a red mark in your area. And if you have chosen the wrong field of record, then also this might be a red mark in your top area. Then if you have not chooses all, or might be having no enough data in your records to predict, then also there will be a issue. So if this has been green, then it means that you can start building your prediction by clicking on the build. So I have done this done with the building of the particular uh, Einstein prediction. Then once it's done, you need to click on the exit and look into the enablement, where the drop down will help you to enable this particular prediction which you just build out. So this is how you can look into the enable. See, let's suppose this is in the draft. You need to add it and then one. So once you click on the drop down, this particular uh, uh, drop down comes up with the enablement of this particular uh, prediction. So once you enable this, then you can view the scorecard, right? So this is how you can see. So once you click on the scorecard, which is shows you the exact result, then you can click on the enable. So I have already been enabled this particular first one. Let's show this particular enabled details. So this is how you can see what exactly the outcome are. These are the percentage which says this particular invoice is uh, uh, negative or the positive thing, or this is how you can get a understanding about your report card. So this particular area shows my second case, which is predicted no show, because this looks good. And you have the option for predicting another fields as well which are getting impacted, and this is how you can look into the correlation and regression of your result. And that's how you can see the fields which are getting impacted based on your prediction. And you have the option for setting, where you can check on the data types and where you can look into the predictions, what exactly the outcome will be, and where my records are getting sync, what exactly the label of the field which I have been getting as an outcome, and each and everything, right? So this is how a prediction is started to giving an outcome. Then once this particular outcomes comes into the into the particular field, then you can use this particular field into a list view or into a LWC component, where you can use this particular field in a real time records. So yeah, this is basically a quite easy thing which shows you a real time prediction. If you change anything, then and there the particular value for the field will change. And this is quite helpful for the multiple use cases, might be lead conversion, might be an opinion based questions, might be in duplicate, finding out the percentage of duplication in your record, might be in predicting a small amount of data, because there are limitations again. If you have more than 5 million records in your Salesforce org, then this particular prediction will builder will not be able to work. So uh, might be this will not give you a exact answer or exact match of your outcome, because there is a limitation in this particular AI tool, right? So this is how